wonderful today. Today is Monday, November the 13th. And yeah, so I wanted to touch base because it's been a little bit. Haven't done it for the last couple days, and do another live and expand from another live that I did and try to stay a little bit more focused when we work on that. Today, I wanted to continue with the idea of belief. That belief is the key to everything. If you believe you can do it, you can do it. If you believe you can't do it, you can't do it. So we want to kind of go from this belief and grow from it. How do we change beliefs, right? So if we have a belief we don't want to resonate with anymore, so something that may not be positive for ourselves. So maybe we have the belief that we're not smart, or we're not spiritual, or we're not good enough in any way, shape, or form. If we have this belief, how do we change that belief so we believe an alternative belief? Because you might say it, but if you don't believe it in your own being, it's not going to really change. Because if you still deep down don't believe it in yourself, that's not going to change your beliefs if you don't already believe it. So what can we do to start changing our belief systems to whatever it is? So the opposite of whatever negative belief we might have about ourselves, right? So we're not good enough. That could be our belief. Well, how do we change ourselves into believing we're good enough? So I was writing down some of the things that have helped me and to go over them and give you some tools, some ways to start changing our beliefs so we can rewrite our programming and rewrite the way our brain is functioning into a more positive space. So the first thing, and one of the big things that I highly recommend that really does help, is writing out what you want to believe, but writing it out multiple times a day. So this overlaps also with having goals. So writing out your belief as if it's already true as well. So for example, writing out the belief that I am connected to divine source. I am smart. I am extremely intelligent. So whatever that would be the reverse of, like believing that maybe we're not smart enough, or that we're not spiritually connected enough, or we're not good enough. So if our belief is I'm not good enough, we want to write I am good enough. So rephrasing that from the negative of what we don't believe to this I am phrase. I am phrase is very, very powerful. So we write it in a I am and then what we want to create. So writing it out, writing out multiple times, writing out in the morning and in the night is a really good way that we start subconsciously changing that belief. And then we can expand that out. So not only writing it out, maybe we have a bunch of beliefs that we have, so we start making it our goals to believe the opposite. So we make everything the opposite as an I am statement. And then once we start writing those and then start repeating them to ourselves at least once, twice a day, if not more, the more frequently we repeat them to ourselves, the more we're changing our perspective of it. And the more we're kind of subconsciously programming ourselves what we want to believe. So once we do that, we make our phrases, we're writing them out. They're also maybe our goals of where we want to go. So we're starting to restate and what's the word I'm looking for? Remind ourselves on a regular basis. That's part of it, is like just constantly reminding ourselves. One of the other things you can do, and this is a tip I actually didn't even think about right now until right now, is make some of your passwords your beliefs. So this is actually a really great because my husband is in tech and he suggests that you should have at least a 16 character long password. Well, the only way you're going to remember any type of password like that is if it's a positive phrase or a phrase that you want to repeat. So you can make your belief a password to something you log in all the time. I am intelligent and prosperous. I am good enough, and stuff like that, right? So that would be another way of, again, repeating to yourself. So you're subconsciously starting to train yourself into a new belief system. Then the next suggestion I have, so not only, so we're writing it out, we're using it in our passwords, maybe different passwords have different beliefs that we're trying to create in ourselves. We can also start to introduce things that are of that belief system in our lives. So going out and searching for everything that is opposite what we believe, everything that can prove to ourselves that we are this. So maybe we're just seeing the coincidences of trusting God. And then when we start to see these coincidences in other people and watching maybe shows where people are talking about their experiences or the coincidences and just being in connection and just surrounding yourself with that information of people that are connected and sharing their experiences of being connected is going to help you start to see that you've had those experiences as well. So try to find a way that you can literally introduce as much of that opposite information as you can. So you don't want to hear things where people don't believe or believe the negative, like you aren't good enough. You don't want to go down something that people are going to be saying, no, you're not good. You want to go and find that information that's going to keep supporting this belief system. And you might have to actively look for it. Some of it might be finding groups, people that you can actually go that are having the same belief systems. So I'm sure there's Facebook groups and different online forums of people that want to believe or are believing the right thing and are sharing how they're creating it. So really just try to immerse yourself with so much of the opposite information. And that might also be choosing to not be around certain people, because certain people may not help with you growing that belief system. And that may be easier said than done, because depending on who this is, if it's somebody very close, a spouse, a child, somebody significant in your life that is contributing to you keeping this negative belief system about yourself or about whatever you want to change, there may be some really big learnings of how to choose interacting with that person. And there may be points where you have to choose who you're bringing into your life and not, so you can create that belief system completely around you. Or you have to build up the walls that that person can affect you. But that can even be more challenging, to be able to let their belief that has affected you for so many years, like you're stupid or whatever, affect you. It's going to take a while to get to that point. So you may have to choose to not have people in your life as much. And then the other thing really that will be key to changing belief systems is real life experiences. Real life experiences truly change your belief experiences and your beliefs. When you've had a real life experience, so let's say you're not feeling connected to source, I don't feel like you're good enough spiritually, and then you have something where you manifested that out, and intuitively that source was supporting you, you've then had that personal experience, and that real life experience will affect you so much more than anything else. So real life experiences, having just one person that tells you, yes, you're smart. Yeah, that is a great idea. You have lots of great ideas. Any of those things will totally change your belief systems. Now, of course, you want it authentic. So how do you create a real life experience that's authentic? Well, you start doing these things. You start surrounding yourself with people who are going to support your belief systems and are already supporting those type of belief systems. And you start supporting yourself with the positive statements that you're writing out or making with your passwords. And then you're going to create these real life experiences that will sink in and make them real to you. I know that's what happened with myself. Being able to manifest things came from the belief that I could, because I heard other people, I knew it was possible to manifest, and I believed it was possible. And then with that belief, when I believe I can manifest things, I have definitely manifest things. Like there's no question in my mind that there's a handful of things where they're too coincidental that this would not have happened the way it did if I didn't manifest it. So that gave me that real life experience and that real life pat on the back to know I'm not delusional, and that my belief grew in my ability to manifest because of these experiences. So one experience was just putting my daughter in preschool, and I've mentioned this before, but to make it very short and sweet, we had a lack of spaces where I was living. There was always a shortage and there was always a wait list in this area. And it had been normal for a number of years that there was a wait list. The year I wanted my daughter in, I was like, well, I want her to be picked so we can easily pick the morning class. I wanted her in, but I don't want anybody to suffer. So I really believe that we're going to manifest it. And this year, I believe that there's going to be space. So it was also for the good of other people, that there's going to be space for anybody that wants space in this preschool. And I manifested it. I may not have known the whole thing, but I kind of imagined vaguely that I was there. My daughter's name was pulled. We picked it, and that there was still spaces for whoever wanted to go into this preschool. It seems quite irrelevant because I didn't have any attachments and I truly believed that this was possible. I didn't think, oh, this was going to work. And it did. It did. I literally showed up for, because it was like a draw to draw names out. And then you got to pick morning, afternoon. And then if there was spaces left, it was like first comes, first serve kind of thing. My daughter's name was picked first. It didn't even shock me. I had been manifesting, putting out that intention, meditating and visualizing that in my mind. Her name was called. And then, we did our thing, didn't think anything of it and kind of went home. I was like, well, I wonder, because they said that there was, not going to be room. So you got to show up. And I'm like, okay. So I went to their website a couple days later and I'm not even kidding you. On the website, they still had lots of room in their afternoon class. They said it was an oddity. They didn't predict it again in the next few years anyways. And that if you knew anybody, they've got spaces. And it was like like they were just in shock that they had spaces still. So there is this level of belief is key. So we have to believe it. And so the reality is me believing everything I can manifest that I want to manifest is part of my key to going through this journey. It's learning to believe that I can do this in every situation I want to manifest in. That's not always easy. It's not always, but I have had that experience and I've seen that. So my belief has changed that I can manifest. Maybe I'm still working on being able to manifest 100% of the time, but I am manifesting and I can manifest. So my belief is there. So this overlaps well with what I kind of was going to mention, which is meditation. Taking a moment to visualize your I am statement. So closing your eyes, taking a moment, censoring, visualizing a screen and seeing your I am phrase, the belief that you want to change and what it is. I am abundant. I am talented and smart. And you see it come across your mind's eye. And then you let it dissipate and you visualize yourself as if you were an observer watching yourself in this situation. We have been disconnected, especially as we get older, from our imagination. And there's a reason. The imagination is the largest nation that exists, and there is no ends to possibilities. Thank you to Phil with bringing that up. I was trick question a few days ago of what was the largest nation, and it's the imagination. And that is true. And our imagination is so strong and so creative. We've been turned off. Our adult life is not congruent to space to imagine. So we have to make it congruent to back to that visualization, that imagination. There is no wrong or right. So coming back to meditation, see your I am phrase on your screen and then visualize and intend you're in that scenario. So if it's abundance and believing you are fully abundant and that billionaire you want to be, see yourself. Who would you talk to? Who would be around you? What would that look like? Where would you be? What's the environment like? If it's perfect health, same thing. If it's I am in perfect health, and you want to believe it, and you want that placebo effect to work so much that you believe yourself into healing, you can do that, but you have to believe it. So you see yourself, you see your I am phrase, and then you see yourself on that screen living that perfect healed life. What does that look like? And spend that time just visualizing it. And you can do that with anything you want. So that's part of it, as well as the prayer. Make a way to connect to God, divine consciousness, source, the creator, whatever you resonate with. This is not a religious thing. This is an empowerment in your spirituality. So whatever you resonate as being that higher energy entity, use that and connect to it. Thank it, appreciate being part of it, and pray that you are being supported in the ways you need to. But being thankful and also asking for what you want. But making sure that you are really thankful and appreciating those higher energies, whether it's your guides, your divine compassionate guides, known and unknown, your guardian angels, whatever it is, again, that you resonate with, they're there for you. If you believe they're there. You just have to pray, connect with them, thank them for being here to support you and help guide you through this process. Prayer is huge. And those are my basic suggestions. A group, find those groups that believe in the same belief. That'll help, because the more people that are saying the same thing, the more maybe you're just going to a help group or people that are just working on trying to get encouragement because if you lack confidence in yourself, maybe you just find a group that's going to help support that. And then use prayer, use meditation, use visualization and that creative imagination that we've turned off. Real life experiences will come through surrounding yourself with this stuff. Surround yourself with the I am phrases, the opposite information. Surround yourself, if you want to believe that you're intuitive and you're psychic, follow psychics, follow tarot card, oracle card readers, remote viewers, people that are finding and connecting to that intuition. Surround yourself with those type of people. So the more you see it possible and the more that you, like astrologers, like the reason I believe in astrology is my astrologer has been very accurate. Once I followed him and started seeing what he said was not BS, and I could see it manifesting out, and he was so truthful on the energies that were happening, that was my belief built up. And my belief has built up that astrology, your intuition, cards are super powerful and can really help us go off and take off into that next realm. And then again, just rephrasing it, whether you make those passwords, your I am, I highly recommend, as well as get yourself a journal, paper, book, whatever, and write morning, night, I am, and all these things that you want to create. And those are those beliefs you want to create. I am abundance and prosperous, and money, which comes in currency, comes easily and frequently to me. Try to have it as open as possible so you're not limiting yourself to money. Because money may not be the currency we run from in the future. So you want to be open that currency is attracted to you and just wants to come to you because it knows once it's there, it's going to be dealt with and spread around into reality. Prosperity comes to those that want to help it flow. So write things out, get yourself those I am goals, morning, night, afternoon, do it more. The more you do it, the more you're just programming yourself, consciously programming yourself into what you want to believe, not what you've been unconsciously programmed to believe. Make them the passwords. That's a great one that really does help. Daily, something that you log into with a password and you bring it into a new belief, it won't take long before you start believing it when you retype it multiple times a day. Meditation, prayers, imagination, visualizing that. Find people, groups, and just immerse yourself in those beliefs to help you convince yourself. Because our mind is smart, but it also can be our worst cage and our worst enemy, where we have to start to trick ourselves. I don't really find it tricking. It's just using those techniques that have been used against us in not positive ways, but as a positive into us, reprogramming ourselves to what we want to believe and what we want to see. So I hope those will give you a few keys to start going so you can change your beliefs, so you can create what you want to create. Because if we're limited by our beliefs, we need to change our beliefs into being limitless. And that might be it. I have limitless beliefs. What does that even mean? And then you have to find that for yourself. What does it mean to be limitless in your beliefs? That you can believe that anything is literally possible, right? So my intention, as always, is to live, speak, and seek the truth to help the world become more authentic. And I really do hope that this will help heal and serve you and give you some guidance to helping you believe and start changing that process so you do believe what you want to believe, not the things that no longer serve you. Have a wonderful, beautiful day. Till tomorrow. Namaste.